Hello everyone and welcome to yet another Steam match of the Mordheim Summer Tournament. My name is Karond. This tournament is organized by Marcus Kane. And we're here looking at an early semi-final as all of the quarterfinals are not yet finished. I'm thinking about Talon versus Faro 85. But here we are looking at Klajd taking on Karond in the first semi-final. Klajd will be playing the Sisters of Sigmar and Karond will be playing the Cult of the Possessed. Both players are unbeaten so far in this tournament and we're hoping for a great game here, and whoever wins here is going to take on the winner between Happy or 485 and Talon, which is probably going to be Talon by every kind of odds here. Uh, as you see, they've had a pretty smooth path towards the final. Still, they've lost units in every single match, and we are just about to start here. Okay, and here we go. We seem to have gotten an ambush mode. Ambush is going to be really important to see who has the better initiative here. Ambushes are usually decided really quickly, and we'll see if that's the case in this particular map as well. It's the Nobles Quarter. We'll see which Nobles Quarter it is. Virtues of Babe Harbor, we can see that there is a slight advantage in rating to the action girls of Klajd here, probably due to an impressive. And there we go. Karond gets to start here because he brought an impressive, so you have to put that down first, no matter the initiative, and then you put down every other unit according to the initiative ladder. See that the morale is a little bit in favor of Karond here, 224 to 182, and there we see. Look at Klajd's units there. You saw a lot of units going before Karond's, and who is the ambushed and who is the ambushee here? Alright, so it seems that Karond is the one who is also having the mechanical handicap and having most of Klajd's units moving before him. So this might be pretty rough. It's usually a foregone conclusion when it comes up like this. It's actually the worst deployment that you can ever get, excluding some of the scenarios that you can find in some specific maps, like the temple or the Gotthard statue, where you could get 100% divine spellcasting failure or 100% arcane spellcasting failure. That really hurts when you bring a lot of casters, which doesn't seem to be the case here for the first unit we see out of Klajd, which is a really high initiative smuggler. Gonna see where all of the other units are being deployed here momentarily. It's 6 units going ahead. I think that Chaos Spawn is probably dead right from the get-go. I remember that this map was also the specific deployment as well was featured earlier when Slanemore faced Karond. In that match, Karond was also the one ambushed, but he did have a higher initiative, which is all that really matters in this map anyway. We have seen a match of Klajd earlier in this tournament, and he brought a lot of magic casters. He seems to have been changing everything around here. We see another marksman, 96. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of ranged firepower that Chaos Spawn is dead right from the get-go, and we'll see what else is going to get down here. Probably going to be a very easy win for Klajd. You don't have to do much when it comes to this specific scenario, having both the initiative advantage and the mechanical advantage. Tends to almost, well, it tends to every single way result in a win. I don't think we've seen anyone actually winning out of this. We did see. Let's see here. We did see Kitten Paw getting the same treatment against Slavier, which was an easy 10-0, and not having anything. Kitten Paw was completely defenseless in that game. We have seen. Karond did win here against Slamer when he was the ambush, but that's because he has a higher initiative. It was the exact same thing in the last tournament, where Talon beat Karond, and then we also remember that in those situations we did see Talon lose out to Marcus Kane when he had a better initiative, but he did have a mechanical disadvantage from the start. So it's not always a full conclusion when you have one or the other, but when you do have both of them, it's very, very one-sided. Okay, we're gonna see two smugglers and two marksmen, so a lot of firepower. It seems like Klajd has switched it up a little bit, and he's a little bit crafty of a player, so it's always something that you can expect out of Klajd. We did see that this is the first time this tournament is the first time when he's being a little bit crafty. He was very easy to read when it came to the previous tournament, and he went out early. But as we saw in his game against Marcus Kane, which he got to prepare for what he knew what Marcus Kane would be bringing, he brought a decent warband. It was still a pretty close game there, but he managed to win mostly due to his preparation, and it seems he has been preparing a warband here that is really hoping to get an ambush mode, and he did get ambush mode here. Karond trying to protect some Globadiers here, putting them on high positions where Klajd can't easily reach him. But don't be fooled here. When it comes to these buildings, if you have enough movement, you can scale 2 levels with just 1 blue pill. So lots and lots and lots of ranged. Even have a matriarch here going to do some magic damage. Augur, which is kind of fun inclusion. Probably because Klajd did see the winning picture of Karond versus Slavier, and he saw a Chaos Spawn, so he's brought Augur to hopefully tank that Chaos Spawn if that would ever occur, but it's not going to be the case here. Trying to find a situation here where this Magister can put himself. One of the main disadvantages of going with an Order Magister and a Chaos Spawn is that if either one of them is taken out, the damage potential is lessened by such a massive amount that you would be much better off not bringing either one of the units. And since we're probably going to see the Chaos Spawn going down here, the key thing is what unit will the Order Magister actually use Order and Weapon of Destruction on? And since we saw 1 and 2 Globadiers, it's not going to be another hero, which means that the damage output here from Karond is going to be pretty, well, quite a bit lower than it could be. If Karond is bringing the units that he has brought for the previous tournament here, it will, no, for the rest the earlier parts of this tournament. It's gonna be Great Axe Dark Souls, and the Great Axes do lose 15% damage after each attack, further lessening the use of Order. Um, some maps are a little bit different when it comes to emergency, but this map has a lot of buildings very nearby, which is going to offer Klajd a chance to shoot and kill whatever he wants, and then retreat. And Karond, meanwhile, is going to be suffering from a mechanical disadvantage. She might not be able to catch up, and then it's going to go out. So it's basically going to be two turns of shooting here for Klajd before Karond can probably get in there and start doing something. And 2 turns, yeah, I think we're gonna watch a foregone conclusion. No one has ever turned this around. But we're gonna sit it through, see what happens, see if there can be a miracle or mistakes by Klajd maybe, or oh, even mistakes by Karond. trying to find spots where he won't be too exposed. We'll see. Most of the fire is probably gonna go down into the cave spawn, but he might have more fire left over. No need to put units in harm's way. You do see some melee units out of Klajd here as well. And if you put any ranged unit nearby, they're gonna immediately get attacked and locked down by one of these melee units. Alright, we're gonna jump forward a little bit to when the deployment is over, and we'll see what happens then. Alright, we're back here. Klajd is sending a message to agree Jackal or Slaver is watching this. Not really sure why that question would be asked. Like, you cannot prevent anyone from watching the game from their perspective. Like, if he wants to broadcast the games, like, what can I do? I can't, cannot say that. No, you cannot. I mean, that's silly. So yeah, of course you could watch this game. And Marcus Kane is a well-known streamer, and whoever faces Marcus Kane knows that they were gonna be streamed. Like, there is nothing you can do about it. Mm. We're seeing the last units being deployed here. We jumped a little bit ahead, skipping some of the deployment, checking out a few of the stats here. Something you should always do as soon as you start the game. We see a War Priest coupling off here, but it's seems to be just a few units to hold things up and a lot of ranged power here to fire at things. Gonna see the first smuggler here. Gonna have to switch weapons if she wants to do anything. Obviously, she's not gonna do dual daggers. There we go. Looks like dueling pistols, plus 12% hit chance. The regular pistols do a little bit more damage, but the plus 12% hit chance is a lot better than the plus 7% critical hit chance. Especially if you're not really building for critical hit chance like Klajd here wasn't doing when we looked at the stats. We're gonna see the first, if he has Adrenaline Rush, he can do a Thread Shot here with Abrienda Mare. And he does have that. Which is an Adrenaline Rush that's only really gonna come into play when you're facing Deny the Heretic, or actually when you are ambushing. So really fortunate for Klajd to get the exact same deployment that he had been wishing for and planning for. Sometimes that do happen. Sometimes you do get exactly what you want, and sometimes you do not. Gonna see. Well, Jackal is playing some other game. I don't know why Clive would send this question that Slaver and Jackal can watch the game. Jackal is not even watching the game. I'm gonna take that away for future broadcasts, the pop-ups. So it can be a little bit disruptive. Gonna see the second smuggler here. Gonna fire down into the chaos spawn here. Remember that we see two marksmen as well, and they do carry shields and maces, which is a good opening thing if you by chance happen to be ambushed. I don't know why it is that Klajd opens up with shield and mace on these two marksmen. The real reason for doing that is expecting someone to have a higher initiative than you, and so going into the units, then you have a better defense. But if you are building so much upon initiative, like we see here, 96 initiative, is anyone really going to go ahead of you? Probably not. Here we see the second smuggler going up, hiding into the same place here in the attic. See a slight view here from the Globadier's point of view. You can see that 15 alertness on those two marksmen. So they're really not going to be ambushed by very many units here. I don't think we've seen a single unit with an initiative that high throughout this tournament. So yeah, I really don't get that. But we're gonna see what they can do here. Gonna see if there can be any sort of response by Karond. Remember that he will have one less red pill and minus 15% hit chance. And that most of his units are a little bit off here. The Chaos Spawn is probably not gonna live. We'll see about this Dark Soul, who is relatively close. What he can do, if he can move. But lots of units still have to move here. And the Chaos Spawn is almost dead now. We're gonna see one more Archer, and unless he misses with his 95% hit chances, it's gonna be Knights out for the Chaos Spawn. So that's a 2-hero advantage, almost a 3-hero advantage, considering that the Magister might not be able to do much anymore. Moving a tiny little bit without costing blue pills and then switching weapons once more. Gonna see a few more shots here going into the Chaos Spawn. There were only 2 specific locations Chaos Spawn could have been spawned in, and this location might not have been the best, but the other position was a little bit more off to the middle, and it could have been even worse. Either way, it wouldn't have mattered. You could just have gone forth and shot the hell out of it. And I see Claw going down. Probably going to go up into the second story here as well. Second level. I wonder if this is a good plan. Like, if you can actually, this unit could probably reach that spot, and if you're too close, you can't really shoot. So if you can get a unit up there, you could potentially get 4. Yeah, you can potentially get 4 units not do anything, and that could even this out. Yeah, you can remove access points. Might be a second option going down there, but we'll see. It seems, yeah, you might be able to jump down from the position that you see right here, as well as the position where he climbed up, but it's not a definite thing. A lot of these positions do only have 1 point up and down. Gonna see the Augur here, the tanky Augur. Probably has Serenity if he was expecting a Chaos Spawn to increase melee resistance even more. This unit is specifically designed for either melee resistance or dodge, but Augurs can be extremely tanky with melee resistance, and it's usually the path taken here. Checking a few units out. Yeah, this particular Dark Soul could probably reach them, as well as the Dark Soul with the spear that was near the marksman. Could probably reach up there and maybe trap the 4 ranged units on the second level. Very indecisive here. Wasted a lot of time now. This is the thing. I mean, if when people are arguing for how much time people do need for a specific turn, isn't it a little bit strange that Klajd here was using a lot of time here and not actually doing anything? And if we look back at the tournament format as a whole, we see that a lot of the... We have seen a few moments where people have run out of time. We have seen a few moments where they were being pressed for time, but most of the time people are just wasting it, just standing around doing nothing. And what you should be doing is that you should really try to... Oh, we see a missing eye here on the matriarch, giving her a little bit of a initiative boost, but minus 10% melee and ranged hit chance, which is an injury that's much better on more pure casters, since she has a passive that reduces her attack cost by 1 whenever she's cast a spell, so she could benefit more from using the passive. Anyway, where we was? Yes, 105 seconds to 90 seconds to 75 seconds. I think that most of the time people do seem to waste movement, and if it seems I lost all of the red pills here. If we look at how much time is wasted, what you should be doing is when it's the opponent's turn, you should think of what move you want to do with what units. And really good players, they do look at the initiative ladder and they plan out their use. Like if you know that you have some unit that is gonna kill an enemy unit a few units down, then don't go for it with the units before that and kill the units unless you really, really want to let the engaged unit out of there. But a lot of these tiny little mistakes are something that we see from a lot of players in this tournament, and it is surprising. It is surprising, I have to say that. So using the ladder is not something that's ingrained in a lot of people's minds, and as well as using time efficiently. Like there is a case here that if you would lower the time to 75 seconds, I think you would see much more strategy come out of the players, and you would be forced to do more strategy. But you would also limit the use of Doomweavers and Necromancers, and when it comes to tournaments like these, the Destruction Warbands really don't need a penalty like that. Necromancers have the passive where you pick up a Wordstone, drop a Wordstone, pick up a Wordstone, drop a Wordstone, as well as the Doomweavers spamming curses all the way through the opponents, and both of them take a lot of time to pull off. But you could do it if you're a bit quick, but those are the only two units that really suffer from a lower time. And since Destruction Warbands have never won a tournament here, it might feel a bit penalizing for them. Order is just pretty good at doing a lot of things. Alright, what's gonna be this is we did see Strangling Globe here. Karond's probably expecting a little bit more magic casters. Not gonna go down to a position where he could potentially be caught off. Alright. So Strangling Globe on the War Priest, probably not gonna do anything. We see a lot of units pretty far. Yeah, it's only the two most top Dark Souls that can actually do anything here, but we did see one of them get stuck in with Augur, so only one Dark Soul can actually reach them, unless this particular... Alright, we do see a jump down point over there, but it's on the first level, not on the second level. Gonna see what this Globadier can actually do. We didn't see the matriarch get up there along with other units. So she's probably somewhere around here. There she is. Strangling Globe. Doing a little bit of damage. Remember that most of the ranged units here are nearby. And going down. Might be better served putting that Globadier. Yeah, I don't know about this. Maybe. It's far out of reach, but if it's only ranged units up there, you're really much better off putting it in a small room or something because it's much more difficult to shoot at it. Of course, then the matriarch could probably go down and reach the unit, unlocking them down, but the matriarch has minus 10% hit chance, even though that might not make a difference here, seeing as the Globadier doesn't have any melee resistance. But yeah, I don't know, it's difficult to do anything in this situation. It's basically just playing this game out anyway. But if Karen could lock down those 4 units with that one Dark Soul we see over here, um, going back and forth, it could change things around, give him a little bit more time to deal with other units to the left here, and even things out. Uh, Not gonna happen on the first turn though, since he has a mechanical handicap. But oh, see a unit coming up here. Will she tie down the Magister? Could be a good move. That red flame coming off her is a strangling globe effect, preventing her from using insult if she has it. And then the other assorted leadership skills. Not doing anything, maybe checking the minimap and checking the stats while she does that. Isn't this where there is a Globadier? Yes, I believe it is. I believe that is the position. Could potentially tie down the Globadier. Well, the Globadier did get enough space here to be able to disengage in case someone came up. And that Brethren will not be able to disengage though. So, locking down one of the ranges. And this was exactly what I hinted at earlier in this game. That you don't want to be too close with the ranged units. Doesn't seem to have worked here. A lot of the units still able to reach Karond from all kinds of places. Even if that particular augur could be attracting lured away, there won't be enough movement for the Dark Soul to actually do anything. You have to trust on the Dark Soul with the Great Axe here to lock down those 4 units. Gonna see if that's doable. Soon here, Karond's real first turn is coming up after the Warrior Priest has done his turn. He's taking a little bit of damage. Climbing up, yes he is. Could be a good idea to lock down the... Yeah, you block the path here, unless you want to double team up on the Brethren. He seems to be wanting to do that, but doesn't have enough space. I don't know why you would double team up on the Brethren when you can lock down the Order Magister here, preventing him from doing much at all. Remember that Karond doesn't get a counter attack because he has only 1 red pill. Very. Oh yeah, he does have some red pills left, alright, because I forgot about that. Using delay did give a few red pills. Not gonna use the red pills here. Probably saving them for something. Gonna see. Probably wants to use order and the weapon of destruction of something, and something needs to come up here and help out with that. If that unit, it seems like the Augur can disengage here, but maybe she cannot. Probably not gonna make a difference here with the Crimson Shade. Seeing as it's such a high initiative on the Augur, it's more about preventing Augur from using that, even though the Augur doesn't need to get. But yeah, it's just using a consumable for the heck of it, more or less. Okay. What can this particular unit do? As you can see here, cannot really reach. It's only the Dark Soul of the Great Axe that is relatively nearby and able to do that. Well, there are lots of exit points anyway, and just limiting them a little bit. Gonna see another oil bomb here. Personally, I'm a little bit tired of the oil bombs. I think that come the next tournament, it really should be new consumables, because everyone seems to be using the same consumables all the time. All right. Probably doesn't want to use attracting lure here. That would be making the same mistake as Hole Poker did in his game, using attracting lure in his game against Marcus Kane, using attracting lure to make sure that he doesn't have a high damage unit for the orders in close combat. So he still wants to be in close combat with this Mastered Web of Steel unit. I might do better with the madcaps here, honestly. Of course, there are some advantages, like you would actually break up the Web of Steel, but if you don't have any more movement to be able to do anything, well, it might be able to charge. Well, it's very tricky here. Going for the madcaps anyway is probably the best choice. Gonna waste some attacks here. Wow, going through the parry, a little bit of luck here. Remember that he does have minus 15% hit chance, and didn't seem to play an effect right here, but could have. And we will see here that the two-handed ordering is not really that efficient. You do less and less damage with each attack. Failing another parry, bit unlucky here. And now succeeding. Alright, so that should be all of the parries. Indeed, finally some parry. Using Adrenaline Rush just for the another order is not gonna do that much damage if it does connect. Gonna see how much damage that can do. Remember the second hit here did 70 damage, and then the first hit with the order did also around 70 damage, but that was with Weapon of Destruction. Yeah, really not worth it. taking 60 damage to do 46 damage. Not worth it at all. Especially on such a vulnerable unit here. Okay, here we see. The Dark Soul going to go and tie down all of the other units. Yep, that's probably not the... That's the way faster route here. We see one of the invisible walls blocking Karond off here, and yeah, that's something that happens. I mean, you can just save and reload if it's single player, but when it's multiplayer, it's nothing you can really do. So, alright. Yeah, I don't want to pillage enemy cards. You want to steal enemy's idol, you get +3 movement. Could probably reach that spot in the next turn, but not in the first turn, and that was exactly what Karond was intending here. And now, well, yeah, gonna have a really long ambush distance here, but the big problem now is that gonna see 2 units are gonna go and tie up some stuff, but then it's a whole round of shooting again, gonna kill off even more units before Karond gets the first turn without a mechanical disadvantage, and couldn't really afford that. I doubt the firebomb is gonna keep them in check. There were a few drop down points that we saw from the side when the Globadier went by. Gonna do a bit more damage on this Dark Soul. It's also wise to go in against someone using order. When you have 2 possible targets and you really want to focus down one, order is randomly distributed. So whenever you use order, you randomly attack one of the targets. And seems to be a good move here. If some of the orders from the Magister, provided Dark Soul live, can go towards the sister instead of the Warrior Priest, that would be much better off for Klajd. Drought of Clarity, 100% stun resistance. Priest will live, yeah, maybe. We'll see how much damage can be done on this Dark Soul. Again, not doing anything, Klajd is that. That's just wasting time. He might be checking on the mini-map or something, but it doesn't seem like he's using that information for anything. I don't know what the Sticky Sludge is gonna do in that spot, but alright. Like, once you reach that spot, you're not gonna care about a little bit less movement. Don't want to go into this Dark Soul. Climbing up here. Can probably get the Dark Soul from this point, right? Because the Warrior Priest came up in the same direction. From the same direction, I mean. Yes, he can. Well, at least this novice is actually attacking, unless like the sister here.
A new round has started.
Gonna see a lot more shooting now. See that the Dark Soul and the Globadier did get a little bit favor here compared to the Marksman. The Marksman lost 5 initiative because they switched from maces +5 initiative to bows 0 initiative, also for a higher hit chance. That Globadier and that Dark Soul might be the 2 units that go down here from all of this shooting. Depends on where one can jump down. Alright, you can jump down on the other side here. That's the position of the Magister, yeah. So that's over here, in this corridor. And we see the smuggler move here. I'm finding the globe there, so it's gonna kill that unit. Most likely. Yeah, I mean, we did see one drop-off point like right next to the Dark Soul, but we didn't see it from the back side. And a third shot here, another 70 damage on the Globadier. Remember that this Globadier is also gonna take 30 more damage from exhaustion when it's its turn. And there are no units here to say 94, so you only really need one shot here. Kill that unit. There's no unit that can come and heal it because it's the second unit moving here in the initiative ladder. If Klajd is paying attention, he will notice that and just he'll probably go down here with another smuggler, do one shot, and then start firing into the Dark Soul. That would be the wise course of action. And yeah, we did talk about this, like using the initiative ladder for your advantage and looking at what damage you're doing at which segment of the game. But gonna see what happens. So one shot will kill this unit off. Had 90 something HP, gonna lose. So if you at least do 70, 65, that's enough. That's more than enough. So that unit is dead. Gonna go off and fire into the Dark Soul then. I assume. Seems to be moving. Yep, 29. It's exactly the amount needed. +1. Yeah, really inefficient. But that is what separates some players to others. I really don't get that. Like, cannot do anything, why waste? Like, unless you really want to get at the consumables, why waste shots? Always something to keep in mind when you're playing yourself. Gonna see a third shot here. To the Dark Soul should really have been 2 shots. Bit indecisive again. Missing aim. Doing quite a lot of damage. Remember that most of these units here from Karond are actually using cloth, so they will take a lot of damage. Yeah, the priest is almost dead. He's gonna have to focus down. Well, he does have to. Yeah, the warrior priests can heal themselves, but he still has mastered web of steel, and you have to get through that. And I doubt Karond is gonna be as lucky getting through 2 pairs of 70% here. Once more, that would be really lucky if it did. But with that high initiative, we might not have enough in the leadership department, which would make Lure a very attractive option here to do some damage. Is performing Antidote. An Antidote will have removed the Strangling Globe that he was suffering under. Also very good use to have when you suspected you might be facing Globadiers. Just using Antidotes on all of the spellcasters is gonna help you quite a bit to remove the effect of yeah, we do see some success here, but the success doesn't matter against the Knight Heretic, we all know that. Anyway, Antidotes is really good for order, and it's actually limiting the use that you can get out of Strangling Globe. So Strangling Globe tends to depend on if your opponent is prepared for it, and also Strangling Globe is only really efficient if you can actually target more than one character with it. If you can only target one, as we saw the Warrior Priest and the Matriarch, it's much less useful. Alright, I'm gonna focus on the Dark Soul, correctly interpreting that this is actually the unit that is doing the damage here, and sure it is. Yeah, it's gonna take a little bit more damage. Still really far away, but he might be able to reach. This unit's gonna take 30 more damage. Gonna see if poison. Gonna start bleeding. It's gonna be preventing this particular smuggler from doing too much of adrenaline rush is gonna come into play anymore, but prevent the unit from doing too much damage when it comes to exhaustion. Just one more poison. Yeah, it doesn't really matter if you move back anyway, because this globe there would still have been pretty exposed, probably gonna die here anyway, no matter what you move. Putting him this exposed is definitely gonna decrease his chances of surviving. But did produce 2 war poisons, that's -4 OP on both of those smugglers. Still using delay here. The only thing to do here might be just enter the Web of Steel. It's whenever a hero is against a henchman like this, the hero needs to be one being the aggressive part, because you don't want to be locked down. Now it doesn't really matter because there's such a big advantage for Klajd here anyway, both in manpower and the deployment as such. Gonna see these two come down, might finish the Globadier. Getting a bit stuck. I don't know, can he actually disengage from that? Might be, if he's lucky. Sometimes when you're up a little bit against terrain, you are unable to disengage. He was a bit lucky here. Alright. So already I've used two red pills. Gonna see what the 3 remaining red pills are gonna be used for. Seems like he really wants to focus down this this Dark Soul using Nerve Shot. Nerve Shot is really nice, prevents Web of Steel and parry if you do connect with it. But yeah, once again going back to this choice here of finishing off the Globadier early. You could have done another 70 damage on this Dark Soul, freeing up the Augur to do something else. It's already pretty crowded around the Magister, so probably would have just gone down and killed this Globadier. Not that it would have mattered too much, but still, Karond has lost 1 hero and impressive. Wow, it's a little bit of stutter here. and no other unit has gone down so far. See, the morale are pretty similar right now, although the thresholds are pretty different. I really wants to focus down this Dark Soul. And succeeding at a nerve shot. He's gonna cast a Row of Steel. There's another enchantment that you can use on bows in particular, which gives you a 30% chance of taking away any stance taken by the target, which is automatic. It's a pretty good enchantment. I know that Talon uses that on all of his marksmen. It's gonna be a really high chance of hitting here, yeah, 80%. No such luck in the return. Still, 34 damage is really low against someone with a cloth. This unit is very much a super tanky character meant to hold up a spawn forever. Now there's no spawn left here, she has to do something. Like you see, there is an inefficiency sometimes when it comes to really tanky heroes if they get caught up against a henchman. Doesn't seem to be the case here with all of the support this Augur is getting. She's probably going to get free here soon. It's the Matriarch's turn here. She was hit by Strangling Blows. She can't cast unless she also has antidotes like the Worm Priest probably does have. Could probably run down here and finish off the Dark Soul, which doesn't have any magic resistance if she wants to. The path down is blocked with a firebomb, and this particular Dark Soul, she's probably gonna go out the same path as. Yeah, you can see there's an obvious jump down point, but not a climb up point from that position. Yeah, it's gonna take a bit more damage. 50 more damage to be precise. So an antidote must have been used here out of sight, as we do see more damage coming in. Just a 9% chance here. We saw Divine Wrath surprisingly fast here. Might be an indication of Divine Wrath could possibly occur. Sometimes you're a bit unlucky. We did see that Talon lost a Wolf Priest against Odovan in this game, just to 999. And it does happen. We also saw Slavey lose his Magister in the game against Far 85 to 999. Failed to cast that here, we succeed at the Divine Wrath. If there's something the Klajd is really lucky with in this tournament in general, especially against Marcus Kane, it's Divine Wrath. He does take a lot of risks and nothing ever happens to him. It might even out eventually. We're gonna see here if it's gonna even out, but he has succeeded almost every single one of them. He did fail one here, but didn't get any real penalty for it when it came to his Matriarch in the first turn of this game. Alright, so he has 3 units here with that order could go straight into. I remember that this is not a good place to use order, because he still has taken a lot of damage. He still has the minus 15% melee, minus 15%. Yeah, you can see that 5 of them, so he does a lot less damage. So ideally here, yeah, might be better off using delay at first and then come back. You don't really want to get a chains off. Chains wouldn't do that much. It's only gonna limit one attack for each of the henchmen. And you really want to make sure that the Warrior Priest goes down here. 25. Doing the sensible choice here. Some players would have used order there, and that's a pretty poor move in such a case. You can use delay once more after this, and take away all of the damage and penalties from the two-handed exertion. I don't know what's going through Klajd's mind now. He really does need to attack here. Gonna switch the equipment. Might be a flail of perforation or something like that. Still, you're only facing cloth, and you already do 12%. So yeah, we can check it out later if we get a chance. Failing the dodge here. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Just finishing up the turn as quickly as possible. Alright. Now this unit could probably get somewhere. Can't really tie the marksman down here, but well, that one could probably I don't know. Yeah, could probably have moved still, so doesn't matter. Ambush. Gonna use delay once more, pretty smart. And then we see this unit. He picked up the idol, so it's plus 3 movement. He might be able to reach. He was the really unlucky one with the invisible wall here. If that does connect, that would kill off the smuggler. Let's see, she takes 50 more damage, and she takes a bit more. She's gonna get one more hit. Yeah, she is definitely going down. And is she the first one to move, or if it's possible that... Okay, let's see here. An attracting lure might kill off this 36%. Yeah, roll a 1, a bit lucky here. And there we go. First unit going down for Crimson Shade. Won't matter, but if these henchmen pick them up, they could potentially do a 2-turn attack. So using up the consumable might be a good choice. 15% dodge wouldn't have mattered anyway. Gonna see the Dark Soul probably go down here then. See if this unit actually attacks more than once this time around. We're just gonna use up all of the remaining 90 seconds. Not doing anything. Switching again for something. Just another flail. And landing some hits here. Alright, so now that the Magister is free, he could use introspection. That seems to be exactly what he's planning here. Missing 86, alright. Not having too good luck here with the parries or Klajd. This is the only thing that's actually going against him. Should be able to parry much more than that. Locking himself down into a corner, probably realizing that this Dark Soul is about to go down. See what this novice can do. Is she gonna hit? Hasn't been too many misses from Klajd so far. Did see that 86% miss chance here, but that was from Karond. Strong blow should finish it off. Alright, there we go. Shouldn't have any more consumables left to loot. Still going to loot. Might not have any consumables left on the war piece either, though that he seems to have paid attention to. Locking down the Magister here, and if he doesn't get a unit up here, he can use order on, he's wasted. But we already knew that's gonna happen. Alright, she has only 5 red plus. No, Adrenaline Rush actually comes into use here, because she can use Adrenaline Rush to do a second attack. Oh? Oh, unless, yeah, maybe I missed something and she did get provided with an antitoxin, or she failed the poison resist. Oh, it must have been something, since she could shoot all 3 shots there. Alright. Running away, hiding again. We did see this against Marcus Kane as well. You can clearly see that this is adapted from Happy's playstyle, which is that he says that he doesn't really care about odds, and you can't be a mathematician against him because he has a different playstyle, but that different playstyle is just running as far away as possible. And sure, I mean, like, it's such a silly comment, because really, it's still all about math in this game anyway, like judging the odds. It's just that you have to have enough movement to catch up to them. Karond Swarman here doesn't have movement enough. We've seen it from previous matches as well. But some Cult of Possessed Warbands do, like Slavish Warband clearly has a lot of movement and would easily have catched up with his units. Other Warbands might as well, especially if you're bringing a Sister Superior. You can do a lot of damage too. Locking down this Dark Soul. It's gonna be fired at in the back, disengaging here to give a better hit chance probability for the marksman. Good choice by Klajd. So far we have seen 2 heroes, an impressive and a henchman going down for Karond, and we've seen 2 heroes going down for Klajd. So it's surprisingly not as uneven in casualties, but the positions that you can get and everything else, it's just, yeah, there's no way that Karond can actually win this either way. Remember that the Magister is locked down. These units are surrounded and waiting to be slaughtered. The Brethren is tied down, and there really isn't anything left here that Karond can actually do to inflict damage on Klajd. So we're gonna see Klajd in the final. It's gonna be fun. It's the first time he comes up to the final. We'll see what he can do there. He's gonna face off against Far 85, Talon, or Happy. Probably wants to face Happy since he's practiced a lot with Happy. You can see that in the playstyle. He's running away, and shooting. But who knows? If history teaches us anything, it's that Talon is probably going to beat Far 85 and then he's probably going to beat Happy. He seems to be facing Happy every single tournament, and Happy is always losing out to him despite knowing exactly what warband he's bringing. That might be the case here too. We'll see. Maybe Happy has a surprise in store for Talon. If it is indeed Talon, he's gonna be facing the semi-final, and then whoever wins there is gonna take on Klajd's Sisters of Sigmar in the final. Don't know why he's waiting here. Aim, now he has plus 10% hit chance. Good to open with aim so you get to pass it from the marksman. And a hand shot here, minus 10% hit chance on the tanky character. This is something, if a good player would probably take that as an indication that he intends to focus on the other dogs, on the one with the great axe, because otherwise why would you provide minus 10% hit chance on a unit if you're going to kill it anyway. There was also something of in the decision making that we saw was lacking when it came to Jackal, who made mistakes, such mistakes all the time. Maybe he will learn from that and come back even stronger for the next tournament. We can only hope that he does. Just these tiny little details that we see out of each player, and by no means no player is perfect. Every single one does mistakes in every single game. That's a given. Yeah, this Dark Soul unit is gonna be good, but still, you can always learn from the mistakes that everyone else does and try not to copy them. So another henchman goes down, leaving. No, there's the third henchman going down for Karond now. He only has 2 henchmen and the Magister left. Only 3 units. And still not about to take a round test. The morale can do quite a lot. If this Dark Soul goes down here, it's gonna be a route test for Karond. It's also gonna be the last real melee unit left over for Karond. This unit goes down. See if he's gonna risk it. Divine Rat success 2%. If you cast another spell, it's gonna hurt him. Not going to risk it this time, just doing a regular charge. Minus 10% hit chance on this matriarch. Just want to lock him down. Probably wise here, he doesn't want to tempt fate. Yes, he's very lucky with Divine Rats throughout the tournament, but you can never be too careful. You don't want something to suddenly change here. On a similar note, Fire 85 did also have a spectacular string of avoiding Sench Curse. Confronting
games that we've seen of him, which is only one against Slavier. Probably just gonna do a sidestep here, right? At least trying to attack this time around. What did he change to? Great Axe. Gonna see if that this is connecting. It is. Not having too great of a leadership here. Gonna flee. I might be able to charge something. It doesn't really matter, this unit is going to go down pretty soon. I remember that he has hand shot on him. That's the tankiest character, but yeah, doesn't really matter. Could have maybe if this connects, it can do a bit of damage, but of course it doesn't connect. Not gonna succeed in anything like that. This unit is a bit off. Doesn't have any real purpose here. Can't reach the Magister, can't reach the Brethren up top. The ranged units of Klajd is gonna come up here, probably gonna finish off the Dark Soul, but might be able to fire at the Magister. Maybe he is by a window, could be possible. It's a bit of a shame, yeah. This game is a foregone conclusion. Ambushes tend to bring that out. Like, it doesn't seem. We have seen some matches where the one who is ambushed, well,
a new round has
have
started.
won the game, but that's usually only when that's actually only when they have had a higher initiative than their opponent, because they get to start so close and they can use all of the units and take out whatever they want, and as such limit the offensive potential for their opponent. But otherwise we never see anything. And ambushes in that fashion, they seem to, like, you can plan for them, and you can see that this particular warband is very much focused and hoping to get an ambush on an enemy, Klajd's that is, and he did here, giving him an easy win. But otherwise, ambushes, I don't know if they are actually bringing something to the table. They seem to be, like, we don't want
Your warband morale is critically low.
only Rivals in the Ruins tournaments again. Those were pretty poor, only lending very much favor towards ranged. But we do have still Scatter. I think my main objection with when it comes to ambush is the mechanical disadvantage. Yes, initiative should play a part. It does in Scattered, it does in several different maps. But if you have a mechanical disadvantage, that's just taking away from the game and really making sure that you're probably going to lose the game. And I think the same goes not just with ambushes. I think the same goes with 100% divine spell failure, 100% arcade spell failure, as some of the scenarios can produce for you. And there is a few other things as well, but it might be better to limit that for future tournaments. See, ambush has been a staple since random deployment was introduced to tournaments like this, which has only been, this is actually the second tournament where we've had random deployment. And since we are playing with level 10 tournaments, it's actually 10% of all games that will end up in ambush when it comes to random deployment. I will see. Probably gonna be having a discussion about this after the tournament. We did see a few ambushes, but nothing that was actually decisive in the previous tournament. We'll see. I'm gonna finish off maybe the Magister now. See if he can fire through the window. You can see the unit moving from here, so it might be an indication that he could indeed fire. And then it's gonna be a route test for Karond here. Not even gonna bother moving. Yeah, indeed. I mean, taking the idol is like if you really in close-knit games, what you want to do is just save that and then take the idol afterwards if you have the opportunity for it. Vision of Torment might stun foe here. It's a 50% chance, but yeah, if you fail spellcasting roll, it's not even a 50% chance. I'm gonna try it one more time, see if it's the stun choice that comes up or the useless one. Seems to be useless one. Alright, so nothing coming out of the Magister. Is Alanya Sudenheim going to do something? You can see that Klajd has not renamed his characters. Sticking to the original names of the characters, so I think that's a decent thing. I mean, it's much better than... Alright, we're gonna see a voluntary route here because it's already over. Only a Brethren and a Magister stuck down. And congrats to Klajd here, going to the final for the first time, beating Karen with 7-2 here. Seems to be surprised at what's happened while his voluntary route. Okay, so seeing a lot of damage done by that unit, the smuggler. And we see Klajd 7-2. Congrats to him. We're gonna see in the final if we don't get to see any other matches, and see you back then. Alright, farewell.